Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll introduce you to a Mercedes from the now new Hot Wheels series of 2026 from the Formula 1 season of 2025. And that is George Russell from the Mercedes factory team, from the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 team, to be exact. And now we have George Russell's car again. I wanted to show it to you now. A relatively good model again, like the others before. However, as I said, I've always noted that the prints, if you get a little closer, don't look so pretty anymore. But as I said, that shouldn't stop us from taking a closer look at the car here. As I said, we'll go through it here. And then we see here like this. From the first impression it looks very well done again. The car was already available last season, so 2024 from Hot Wheels, and now we have the new one here from the current season. Again with hard tires. I had already introduced the McLaren. They also had hard tires. The car also had hard tires again. I actually thought it was quite cool from last year, that some of them had different tires on the cars. For example, soft tires, or the medium tires. I think they had hard tires, too. We also had medium and soft and hard too. Now we all somehow only have hard tires. I don't know if it's a cost-cutting measure by Hot Wheels that the vehicles here now all have the same. Get the same tires. And then let's take a look here to see what the prints look like here. However, I would say at first glance that it looks better than the McLaren. The prints look very good. It doesn't look so blurry. I always note that if you get a little closer, that they actually then look blurry. But it actually works here. Let's take a look at the helmet. The helmets are actually always very blurry. In this case, it's actually okay. You can even see the Mercedes logo on the helmet. By George Russell. That's not bad. Mirrors, again Mercedes logo on the halo with the number 63. It's a very accurate model. I like it much better than the McLaren, I have to say. George Russell, by the way, finished 4th in the final standings of the World Championships. You have to do it first, that's not bad, so to speak, behind the dot both McLaren and Max Verstappen. Then George Russell arrives. Mercedes actually had a relatively good season, except for Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton drives for Ferrari, doesn't even drive for Mercedes anymore. Kimi Antonelli was in Mercedes of course. Of course, he also had a good debut season. And now, as I said, here is George Russell. Very good vehicle. If I get it from Antonelli, I'll show it to you, too. Unfortunately, I only have George Russell here now. I'll give you the data of the vehicle again. As I said, they had all a 1.6-liter V6 turbo engine. With almost 1,000 horsepower performance. Exactly, that's what it should have been. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to switch back in and Merry Christmas. Bye.